Hi, my name is Olakunle Olamile, Managing Director of Glow Forensics Limited. Today, I'll be talking to us about our company, what we do, where we're situated, the current projects that we have out on tenders. As a company, we intend to go international. So, in view of this expansion, I will be talking about some cultural differences between our culture and that of the countries in which we are going into. And at the end of the presentation, I would wrap it up with how we intend to properly synergize these cultures together within the company. Who are we? We are an American company that manufactures forensic products like fingerprint ink pads, indelible ink markers, tactical trauma kits, Faraday bags, and other forensic products that are used in crime scene investigations, elections, census, and a host of others. We have offices all around the United States. However, our headquarters is located at Jacksonville, Florida, which houses a manufacturing plant, a training facility, and administrative office. Due to the fact that we've decided to go international, we will be submitting bids to 3 different countries. The first country is China. The population of China is over 1.3 billion, which makes it the most populous country in the world. We will be submitting bid for their forthcoming Beijing municipality elections. Another country we'll be looking at is India. With a population of over 1.2 billion, it is the second most populated country in the world. We will be bidding for the West India elections. The last nation that we're going to be going into is Angola. With over 21 million people, Angola would be having the national elections, and we will be submitting bids for that. Now, we're going to be analyzing these 3 countries based on offsets cultural dimensions. I will start with Angola. As we can see on the chart, when we go into the power distance, that's a lot difference between the United States tolerance for inequality compared to Angola. Angolans are quite used to inequality in the system, so they have a very high power distance over there. And when you look at individualism, we'll see that the Angolans like to do things together, and that's because in Angola, family is of high priority. It's not uncommon to find a family with several generations living in the same building. It's not uncommon. However, in the States, that's not common. Now we're going to be looking at China. When we look at the indulgence in China compared to the United States, we can see that the extent to which Chinese can control their urges is weaker than the United States. So that means in negotiations, in business discussions, where you have to be mindful of the fact that Chinese have this tendency not to be able to control their urges that much. Also, when we see the long-term orientation of China, which makes it quite challenging for you to change things within their culture. Trying things new may not be that easy for them in China, but they really do things together, just like in Angola. They love to do things as a team, as one, as family, very, very similar to that you have in Angola. Maybe in China, maybe one of the reasons is because of the fact that they've been under the communist system for a long time. Now we're going to be talking about India and the United States. As we can see also on the chat, when we look at the indulgence, it's very similar to what we have in China as well, because they have a very, very weak control of their urges compared to the United States. So we have to be mindful of that fact. Power distance, quite similar to that which we have in China and in Angola. Well, also when we come to individualism, we can see that Indians also relatively on the average side of things. Really, they just want to do it collectively together with others. In conclusion, having understood that there are quite a number of differences between the United States and these three countries we are going into, we've decided to make sure that all employees that will be sent out of the United States to any of these countries will go through some kind of cultural training. We would not send them there alone. They would be working with locals of the countries. As we send out two from the United States, at least one or two others will be employed locally in all these countries to ensure that we have a proper bridge of the gap between these cultures. Also, we'll be sending the employees that are employed in China, India, Angola to the United States. Thank you very much for listening.